Hey everyone, it's Natalie. So today I just want to do a quick video because I don't think you guys really realize how dangerous a narcissist is. I have worked with several women getting them out of abusive relationships with a narcissist. And not only was their husband or wife a narcissist, but so was the in-law, which makes a lot of sense. But these people can become stalkers, physically abusive. They could assault you. They could do whatever they want because narcissists do not like the answer no. They don't like you going up against them. They don't like you having your own opinions and decisions. And so it enrages them. And when you enrage a narcissist, if they can't verbally if they think they verbally cannot get through to you, verbal assault, what they'll do is they will then physically assault you. Or if they can't physically assault you because maybe they're scared of jail or whatever the reason, maybe they're across the country, they will hire someone to stalk you. I'm not even joking. These people are extremely dangerous. And when you are trying to get out of a relationship, regardless if it's your boyfriend, your husband, wife, in-laws, whatever, the best thing you can do is hide. Hide until things start to cool off. Don't let the narcissist know where you are, what you're doing. If you have a certain routine in the morning or in the evening, change it up. If you need to drive a couple extra miles in a big circle, then that's what you do. You change everything the narcissist knows about you, your routines and everything with the children. You got to change it. Even if that means you have to ask a friend to pick your children up from school or take them to dance or whatever it is. Because these people, once you injure a narcissist, and you abandon them, that's the number one most feared thing that a narcissist will never admit to, let's just say that, is abandonment. So they'll never admit that their number one fear is abandonment, but it is. And so when they see that you are trying to abandon them or leave their life, you're causing the greatest narcissistic injury of all. And this might sound horrible, but it's also the best revenge. When you get to pay the narcissist back for the torture, it honestly, it's scary, but it also kind of is like, you can be smug about it. Like, nope, not playing your game anymore. No more. I'm saying no finally. And it honestly could be like one of the best feelings, but it also, unfortunately, can be one of the scariest. And so if you're trying to get out of this relationship, and this isn't like just going no contact. No contact, if you really think about it, no contact means that you are in a relationship without contact, right? I mean, kind of think about it. When you abandon someone, when you get rid of someone for good, that's not, in some ways, it's not really no contact because you're no longer in any type of relationship with these people. And even if that means, oh, it's your parent or whatever, nobody is forcing you to have a relationship with these people, and it is your choice. And so going no contact or whatever you want to call it, everything that happens from this video on is your choice. Even before this video, everything is your choice. And if you choose to kick the narcissist out of your life, in some ways, I just don't look at it as no contact. I look at it like I'm getting rid of this toxic person for good. Like, I have no relationship whatsoever with this person at all. Like, no contact isn't even in my vocabulary because I have nothing to do with them. Like, they are a complete stranger. And so the question becomes, if you saw a stranger in a store and they were passive aggressive or manipulative towards you, would you say, oh, I'm going no contact with that stranger? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, I need to stay the hell away from this person. I can see they're dangerous, and you never interact with them again because they have already showed who they are. But unfortunately, when we're in these relationships, like for instance, it's our in-law, it is by force that we have to be in these relationships. But then I started thinking about this. No one's forcing me to be in a relationship with anyone. You know, and it's like that light bulb moment. Who said you had to be in a relationship with these people? What, your husband? Are you gonna, I don't care if it's your husband or who it is. If someone is being abusive towards you, there's not a single person on this planet that can force you to be in a relationship with somebody that is abusive. Now, if you're a battered wife, that's a totally different situation, which also brings me to this point. I could not tell you how many people of Indian descent or Middle Eastern descent that reach out to me and have told me some horrific stories of abuse. Like, you think your abuse is bad, but could you imagine, especially in the Indian culture, where the daughter-in-law gets married to only end up as the in-law slave? And to add injury onto that insult, most of the time, the women's parents have to give a dowry to the husband's family. So they have to give them money and gold and silver and, I mean, crazy stuff. So it's like they're selling their daughter to become a slave. And I'm not trying to offend anybody's culture or anything, but this is, I have verbally heard this from Indian women and a couple Pakistani women. And I know that in Saudi Arabia, they do this too. I know that it's starting to kind of fade out, but it's still very prevalent. And so when I talk to these women that are being used as literal slaves, I honestly, I can't even bear it, because I'm thinking to myself, like, this is force. This is force. And I'm not trying to contradict myself, but there are so many different cultures in today's society. And so being an American is a privilege, because as an American, you do have choices, or whatever country you're in. But I've talked to a few Indian women who, they go and get like their PhD. They become doctors. They become chemical engineers or whatever. And they work 60 hours a week. And I'm not even joking when I tell you this. Their whole entire paycheck, every single penny, is deposited into the in-laws' bank account. They are left with no money, and if they need to buy something, they have to ask for permission. And most of the time, the mother-in-law, get this, the mother-in-law, knowing that the daughter-in-law might need tampons or whatever, a new bra, whatever it is, will deny basic human rights to their daughter-in-law so they can keep the money, or to punish the daughter-in-law. This can also be used as a punishment in this culture, but in our culture too. As an American, My in-laws use different tactics to punish me. Now, I think every situation can be different. But if you are in a forced relationship with your in-laws and they are abusing you, you need to run, escape, do whatever you got to do, even if that means that you have to go live at a women's shelter. And I have helped several women into battered women shelters, and they will set you up with vouchers. And with those vouchers, you can get an apartment and food stamps and Medicaid, especially if you have children. They'll give you Medicaid, or the government will. And sometimes they'll even give you a cell phone. So don't think because you don't have a job and you have children, you're trapped in this relationship and you have to tolerate this type of abuse because you have no money. That is why there are programs out there, because it's not only women that are battered, it's also men. It's also men. I have dealt with one personally that was a battered man, and it like this, when you hear these stories, especially of like a battered woman or a battered man, it's astonishing because you're thinking to yourself, why would this person sit here and tolerate that? And it's out of fear. It's out of fear they sit there and tolerate that abuse, and they become used to it, to the point that the behaviors that you think are misbehaviors become just normal behaviors for them. So their husband or wife yelling at them, slamming their fist in the door, maybe physically assaulting them, psychologically abusing them, things like this. They normalize that behavior over time. And what the narcissist does is they do it little bit over time. And then when they finally reach where they're comfortable enough knowing that they have you in control, they really don't have to hide behind that mask anymore. So the true, you see who this person truly is. Because when you're in a relationship like boyfriend, girlfriend, the narcissist isn't going to right away show you truly who they are, because they're trying to trap you. And so once they know that they put that bait in that trap and you got caught, their mask, they don't have to put that effort into the mask anymore. So they just become outright nasty, disgusting people. And if you're in a situation where you got tricked into this relationship that way, they're wonderful when you first met them, and now they're just scumbags, you have to put a, set of motion into play of you escaping, and it's going to be horrifying and scary, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be nasty, and you're going to feel lost, and you're going to cry, you're going to be depressed. All these things are going to come to the surface, right? But I will tell you something that is wonderful news. Is once you come to the end of that chapter of divorcing or escaping the abusive narcissist, a new chapter opens up to you. And that chapter could be anything you make it. And so look at this as a good challenge, a happy challenge, even though it's going to feel miserable. And I hate to tell you that. I really do, because you're going to go through it and it's going to be just horrible. It's just going to be horrible. And I'm crying for you. I am. I really am. And I'm really sorry. But you got to go. And because you know what's even scarier of the narcissist that you see in front of your face right now is not the same narcissist that's going to be there in a year or 2 years, because they always get worse with time. Narcissists never get better. There's nothing you could do or say to ever fix or change this person. The more they get away with, the worse they are. So if you think the narc is bad right now, you just wait another year, another 5 years. You're going to see a totally different type of narcissist in your face, because you've been allowing. And I'm not saying that in like, oh yeah, you're allowing it like that, but you are, in some weird way, they twist you psychologically where you do allow the abuse to continue because of fear and intimidation and manipulation and financial. And the few women that I help with battered women's shelters and stuff, they're doing it. Girl, please. They're doing it. They got their own place. They've got a job. Maybe they even got, one of my good friends even got herself a car. But it's going to be difficult at first. So don't kid yourself, but prepare. And one of the ways that you could also prepare yourself, and it might be hard for some people if you don't have any way to get your hands on finances, but I don't care if it's a penny. Anytime you can get your hands on anything with monetary value, you get it, you sell it, you pawn it, you do whatever you have to do, and you do this slowly, okay? And you're gonna hide your money. I don't care if you go out to your garden and you bury the money so the person can't find it. You do what you gotta do. And then the night before you escape, you play cool, collected, and quiet, and you have a plan in place. And that might mean that you have secretly put some clothes and shoes at a friend's house. That might mean that your friend is waiting down the street to pick you up. That might mean that you and your friend are having to trade cars for the time being, or there's just a million options out there of how to escape. But you're gonna, the worst thing you can do is basically go up to the narcissist and threaten them like the night before, right? Or get in an argument, because it draws suspicion. And you definitely, if you know you're gonna leave the next day or that night or whatever, worst thing you can do is tell the narcissist that you're leaving, because they're the type of people that will sit down from your work or your home without you knowing and follow you to your safe location. I know in my personal case, my mother-in-law had a private investigator follow me. She thinks I don't know, but I know. I have proof. And you know what? The wonderful thing is that she admitted this proof to my husband. And because I thought I was going crazy, my husband thought I was going crazy when I was saying, you know, I'm telling you, I keep seeing this one vehicle, the same guy, everywhere I go. I'm telling you, he's either stalking me or it's someone like spying on me, which I guess is kind of the same thing. But and for years he was conflicted about that, but I knew in my gut. And then his mother, in her own little way, said something to him about a location that we used to frequent in another state, and asked him about this location she had no way of knowing about. And right there, as soon as my husband came, he's like, I have to tell you something, Natalie, and I need to apologize. And I'm like, okay, go ahead with it, you know? And he said, you'll never guess what my mom told me. And he told me the story. And it was about, at the time, he and I had a nasty habit of vaping. This is when vape first came out. And we were going to a place called Temptations and getting the like vape juice, right? Now, his mother lived in Texas. We were living in Ohio. Why is it that his mother wouldn't, we had already went no contact with them, because my husband had to literally escape his parents' apartment and meet me at a hotel. And we lived in a hotel for 3 months in a cockroach infested crackhead motel until we got on our feet. And he literally had to hide from his mom and dad. Even though my husband did work with his dad, it's kind of a complicated situation. I might want to tell that story one day. But anyways, so his mom asked him one day, hey, your cousin's coming to visit and he smokes cigarettes and I just want to get him a vape pen. And I know that you used to vape. What about that place called Temptations? Like, what did you, no, that's not what she said. She said something about, what was that place Temptations you used to go to? Trying to figure out a place in Texas she could, like a smoke shop that she could go to get the cousin a vape pen. Now, there's no way of her knowing about Temptations. No way. And that only proved my point to my husband. And he was in shock because he really couldn't believe what I was telling him to be true. He really could not believe it. And it was proof in the pudding, baby. Proof in the damn pudding. So this is my whole thing coming on here today, is to tell you that these people are dangerous. And you do what you have to do to protect yourself. It's going to be scary. But reach out to me. I'll help you and give you any resources that I have. And then you just fill out a bunch of forms and you'll get, they'll even put you in a hotel for like a month or two for free, especially if you have children, and hide you out and stuff. And like these women shelters, I mean, they have tough security there because men have been known to go there basically abducting or killing their spouse. So one spouse is going up there because they're upset that their spouse left looking for them and stuff. So, I mean, you will be safe. But these are really scary steps that you're going to have to start taking because these people are dangerous. And if it's your in-laws and you're going no contact, don't consider it no contact. Just end the relationship and never look back. Because by going no contact, it's like saying, well, maybe one day I'll be in contact again. You can't do that to yourself. You have to say good riddance. So, I mean, the psychological terms is no contact. But if you really think about it deeper, if you're ending a relationship with a narcissist for good, you're not only going no contact, you're cutting them off dry for good, forever. Goodbye. There is no turning back from this. There is no, well, maybe one day if, I'll have contact again, or I'm punishing the narcissist or whatever. It's not that. You literally look at these people like they are strangers. And if you saw a stranger, would you say, I'm no contact with that stranger? Or would you say, that's a dangerous person, I'm staying the hell away from that person, and you make sure you're never around that person? You see the difference? I mean, it's like one and the same, kind of. But when I think about me going no contact, I don't really look at it like that. I just look at it like I'm done. Like there's nothing. There's not amount of money on earth, nothing that could ever get me back into contact with my narcissistic in-laws. Nothing. And I've made that mistake of getting into contact with them, thinking things would be different, thinking things would change. But they start it right away because they're trying to punish you, because how dare you go no contact with them, right? They can only discard you. You cause a narcissistic injury, so they're going to make you pay for it. So if you are serious about ending a relationship with a narcissist, that means you will never, ever, ever contact these people again. And you will make sure that they have no way of contacting you. And if you're in a situation where my situation is my spouse does have low contact. He does. He started it like, I don't know, maybe a year ago after a few years of strictly no contact. But I saw that. I saw that in my husband, and I said, wow, so no contact means right now we can't have contact. And I said, I'm not doing that. Like this, in my situation, I cut them off for good. I don't speak about these people. I don't mention their names. I try not to think about them. But at first you are going to think a lot because it's the CPTSD. But over time it gets better, but it can take years to calm the mind. But I don't look at it like no contact. I look at it like I am no longer ever going to be in the vicinity of these strangers. These are dangerous strangers to me now. They're not my in-laws. They have a big sign over their head saying danger, alert, alert. And that's how I look at the situation. And I make sure I am on point all the time. And I do have hiccups, and I do slip up, and I do stupid stuff that I regret. And I do react. I think it's normal human behavior. I have done all those things. But once you can start controlling your reactions, start controlling your emotions, a lot of things get easier. But these aren't your parents or whatever. Like, if it's your in-laws, these aren't your parents. You don't love them, so who cares? And I think that's the problem, is that you're looking for that love and acceptance from them, and you'll never get it. So just stop trying. Just stop now, because you're just going to hurt yourself even more than what you've already been hurt trying to get that love and acceptance. It's just not going to come. So you literally have to cut these people out of your life. And if your husband's still in contact with them, you literally just act like they're strangers. You don't talk about them. They're not involved in your life. They're not involved in your children's life. They know nothing about your marriage. They know nothing about you. And you have to set these strict boundaries with your partner. Like, these are the rules. You break these rules, then, you know, there's going to be consequences and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, that's today's video. It's long. I apologize. I will be posting the Zoom on Thursday for Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace, love, harmony. See you guys later. Bye.